Hey friends, welcome back to Anu Talk Show. How are you doing? I hope you're having a beautiful day. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something that I wished someone told me when I started my business in 2018, something that changed everything for me. So today, I actually want to talk to you how I built my six-figure coaching company globally, even with the language barrier, even with a small audience, and how I am scaling to seven figures. One thing that I wished someone told me when I started is that business is skills. Business is skills only. It's not luck, it's not having privilege, it's not being born in the right country, it's not having perfect English, it's not having the right network, it's actually also not coming from having money. Business is everything about skill. And the reason why I want to talk to you about this because as women of color, especially as immigrants, we grow up believing the opposite. Am I right? We grow up believing that success is for people who grew up speaking perfectly English, who grew up in America, who had wealthy parents, who had a big network, who had confidence, who had opportunities we never had. I used to think the same. I used to scroll on Instagram and see all the coaches on video who are speaking clearly, who are sounding so confident, who didn't have an accent, who were explaining things so perfect in English that I doubted myself. And I would think, okay, I can never do this. My English isn't good enough. I am doing mistakes. My grammar is embarrassing. My accent will turn people away. No one will actually take me seriously. I will never build a business. I will never hit that six figures, that seven figure mark. Because the truth is, English is my third language. Tamil is my mother tongue. German is the language I grew up with. I was born and raised in Germany. I am living in Germany, so English is the one I had to fight to learn. In school, I was bad in English. Like, literally, I didn't get best mark when it comes to the subject English. So when I started my business, the biggest barrier wasn't the strategy. It was literally me holding the shame. And shame about how I sounded, shame about mispronouncing things, shame about needing extra time to think of the right English word, which is why I was delaying creating video content, shame about sounding less professional. But then something shifted for me. I also saw someone posting in a Facebook group that they will never pay someone four figures who's making grammar mistakes. I literally saw a post who someone said, I will never pay thousands of dollars for a coach who's making mistakes when it comes to the language. But something actually shifted for me, something that changed the entire trajectory of my life, of my career, of my business, me being full-time in business for more than 5 years. All the things that involved that in other people, right? Where I looked up to them. I was like secretly admiring them, were simply skills they had practiced. The coaches who were speaking so good in front of the camera, that was only skills they had practiced. And they practiced their skills good enough often so that they become so confident in the skills. And I actually told myself, if they practice their skills and I am looking up to them, I can practice my skill as well to get better at those skills. So it wasn't privilege. It wasn't it wasn't luck. It wasn't the language, it wasn't the background, it was simply skill. And this is the one thing I want you to take with me today, is that your business is about skill. Business is only about skill. If business is skill, then you can learn those skills necessary in order to scale your business. And that was the moment I stopped feeling like I was behind. That was the moment where I stopped comparing myself with other coaches, or where I was holding shame that these coaches can do it better than me when it comes to, for example, live video. This was the moment I actually stopped making excuses about my background, about who I am. Because if success is skill, then nothing about my background can disqualify me. So in today's video, I want to break down the 5 things I did, the 5 skills I intentionally built that helped me to grow my 6-figure business coaching company globally. I am working with clients all over the world, even with English as my 3rd language. And what I am doing today will help you to see what you need to do in order to scale your business to 6 figures and to 7 figures, no matter if you have an accent, no matter of your heritage, and no matter of your background. So I'm excited. If you have a pen and paper, let's get into it, okay? So the number one thing I did intentionally is I got feedback and coaching from day one. So when I started my business, I didn't know anything. Yes, I had a business background. I was in business school. I have a bachelor in business administration. But still, I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to talk about my offer. I didn't know anything about articulation, about messaging. I didn't know how to write sales content, or how to position myself, or how to clearly communicate in English. I didn't know anything about that. And because of that, I could have easily decided to figure everything out on my own. Especially for us women of color coaches, where we were raised, don't bother anyone, don't ask too many questions, don't depend on anyone, do it on yourself, work hard, keep your head down, and pray it works. If you are a woman of color coach, an expert, if you can relate to this, let me know in the comment section. Because in the beginning, it was really so hard for me to ask for help, but I made the opposite choice. I didn't listen to my parents. I didn't listen to my friends. I didn't go for advice to my friends, family, relatives, because I knew they are not in the shoes where I want to be. They are not entrepreneurs. They don't desire to run their business online. So I choose to get feedback. I chose to get coached. I chose to be corrected. I chose to be refined. And honestly, in the beginning, it was so uncomfortable. It was humbling. It crushed my ego. Like, I didn't want to hire someone for $5,000 and get feedback. It was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I still remember sending my coach an early video of me explaining and selling my offer. And he actually told me, okay, so your message is powerful, but you are still lacking communicating what you do in your content, what you do in your language. And when he sent me that video, that Loom video of his feedback, of his coaching, and where he corrected me, it really hurt me. It hurted my ego. I was thinking, who is he to give me a feedback like this? But I sit down with my ego, and I was going through this video, what he sent me over and over and over again. Honestly, after a time, it helped me. It helped me so much, because in that video, he told me, hey, Anu, don't worry about your grammar. Speak with conviction, not perfection. And he told me to say this pitch over and over again, more than 10 times. And I did that. And that exercise alone helped me to strengthen my language. So that actually became the pattern in my business. I would do something and then I would get the feedback from my coach. I feel exposed where my ego was hurted. And then I used that feedback, I used that learning point to get better. And this is the cycle. And this is the reason why I grew so quickly my coaching company, why I am able to work with clients all over the world. Because I know that feedback is so important. And the feedback will be different based on in which level you are in. I know me now scaling to multiple six figures, that will get like different feedback that I need to actually do and get better and feel exposed to my client, to my coach. So while other people were trying to look confident or to feel ready to be confident, I was actually learning the skills that created confidence. I was willing to look stupid in the first few trials and get the confidence instead of being in this whole energy of let me first get confident before I do the activity. So if you are a woman of color coach and you are watching this, you are listening to this episode, I want you to hear this from me. You don't need more time. You need more feedback. You can do an exercise. For example, if you're already creating content, and you are not booking more sales calls or you are not seeing the effort in your sales, you need feedback from someone who can give back to you what you are doing wrong, what needs refinement. If you are posting content for months, for a year, and you are not changing the content with feedback, then you are wasting so much more time. You can speed up your results when you get the feedback. So skill is built through coaching. Success is built through correction and through repetition. And this was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my business. And this is why I still get coached even today as I scale. And I always believe that coaching and having someone in the corner and giving you the feedback and making sure that you are on the right path is super, super important when you are scaling your business. I always have a coach on my side. And there was a time where I didn't have a coach on my side, and that was the worst season in my life and in my business. I didn't make a lot of money because I didn't have someone giving me feedback, someone giving me the coaching I needed on my strategies and on my mindset to scale my business. It was the worst decision in that season of my life, but I've learned from it. I've learned that I always need a coach on my side to coach me through the seasons and give me the feedback that I need to scale my business. So that was the number one point, okay? I got feedback and coaching from day one. I hired the first coach, the business coach. The first coach was 2018 when I was a fitness coach. I hired a business coach in 2018. That was my first coach ever. Okay, we come to the second point, okay? The second point is that, which helped me to build this global six-figure coaching company, even with my language barrier, is I worked on my visibility fears. Especially as a woman of color, you need to work on your visibility fears. Visibility, my friends, was the hardest part of my journey. Not because of the strategy. It's easy to tell. I feel like it's easy to tell, especially if you are not people of color, it's easy to say out loud, go live, or just hit the record button and do the video content. It's easy to say it out loud. But for someone who is a woman of color, who is a people of color, who has background, who's an immigrant kid, who grew up differently, it's not that easy to just hit the record button. So visibility was the hardest part of my journey, not because of the strategy, because of the identity I was holding back then. I grew up in Germany in a Tamil household where being visible was not normal. So we didn't learn how to take up space. We didn't learn how to speak loudly. We didn't learn be bold and talk back if something is wrong. We didn't learn how to share opinions publicly. Actually, it was being told to shut our mouths and not to share those opinions, because then you are on a threat. Then you are in survival mode. We didn't learn to be the center of the attention. And I grew up until I was like mid-20s. Grew up with all those patterns and with all those conditioning. And then you are starting a business, and it was my choice to start a business that is online, where in the comfort of my room, I wanted to create video. I wanted to run a global business. I wanted to work with clients all over the world. I wanted to do speaking events all over the world. That was actually why I started this business. It was my choice. But still, when you are starting your business and this becomes a part of you in the beginning, it is difficult. Especially like when you learned the opposite, like don't embarrass the family, don't speak out of turn, or don't make other people uncomfortable. Be humble. You should blend in, otherwise you are a threat. So when you are in this entrepreneurship, you are starting your business, your online business, where it is required for you to be seen, my entire nervous system revolved. And then not only did I had to learn how to visible, how to be seen, how to learn on the skill of video creation, and then I also added to learn a new language on top of that. I felt like visibility was a threat. I was terrified that people would judge me because of my accent, because of my English, because of the pronunciation, because of my pauses or the mistakes I do within the video. And I remember deleting the videos over one word that I said. I posted that, and after a minute, I deleted it. And I would re-record captions 15 times because I didn't like how I sounded. But somewhere along the way, I realized people don't hire me for my English. People hire me for my leadership. And also I've realized I don't want someone in my coaching container who doesn't like my English, who doesn't like that I do mistakes. Because in my coaching classes or in my coaching, I do mistakes. And I needed to realize, which was the turning point, that people don't hire me for my English. And if they have a problem with my English, they should not hire me. I want people to hire me because of my leadership, because of my IPs, because of my coaching. So your people, they hire you because you make them feel seen in the identity they are holding and where they want to go. They hire you because you're holding space for them online in your content. They hire you because you are helping them to shift their beliefs. They start to believe in the possibilities again. They hire you because they understand that you understand their problems and that you are the best in communicating that back to them. They want to know how to solve their problems, and they believe that you can help them to get there. That's why people hire you. And not because you have a perfect English, and not because you have the perfect delivery from day one, and not because you are sounding like all other coaches. So once I worked on my visibility fears, once I rewired my identity, everything changed. And I created more content. I attracted better clients because I was producing better content. I sold more of my offers every single day because I started to believe, and I have this philosophy that if you are a business owner, you should sell every single day your offer. McDonald's is selling their burgers, their fries every single day. Starbucks is selling every single day. I'm pretty sure you see an ad. Stanley is selling their products and offers every single day. So why aren't you doing it? So if you want to, I scaled faster when I've realized all of the stuff. I was aware of it. I was like, yeah, I need to do all of these things. But why am I not doing it? Because of your identity, because of the visibility fears, because you are not in a container that is acknowledging the conditioning you were growing up with, the conditioning that you are having, and why it is more than just hearing, just click the record button. Doesn't work like that. Let's work on your safety first before you go visible. And this is what I'm doing inside Leverage 20 with my clients. I don't tell my clients and shouting at them, just go live, just click the button. I am realizing that, especially my women of color coaches, we need safety first. So how can I provide to my clients the safety first before they do their live sessions, before they do and go build the content? And I also tell my clients, hey, you will be, what's the word? In the beginning, you will sweat. You will have sweaty palms, your heart will race. But still, if we work on your safety first, all of the symptoms will actually reduce. And it will become easier for you to actually do the work, to actually work on the skills. Because video content, visibility, creating sales content, making sure that it's converting is skill. Business is skill, and all of those stuff are skills as well. How can you increase the safety first before you actually work on those skills and before you are actually getting the repetition in? That was my point 2. Do you have any questions about point 2? If you resonate with what I'm actually sharing here, I will love it if you let me know in the comment section. The next point, a secret that I want to share with you is I let myself fail and be a beginner. And I'm still a beginner. So the first 20 lives I ever did, they were horrible. Horrible. My voice shook. I forgot my points. I cursed a lot. My sentences didn't make sense. Then I saw a family member from Canada, or I think there was also someone from my high school watching me live. Brew. I was sweating. It was hot. I panicked. I forgot the words. People clicked off. I talked too fast. I didn't know how to transition. But I kept repeating myself because those first 20 failed live video were the foundation of my business, because they taught me the most important entrepreneurial lesson you need. You must be willing to be bad before you become good. Oh, this is so good. You must be willing to be bad before you become good. And this is so hard for my women of color coaches because we were raised to be perfect. We were raised to not embarrass ourselves, not to look stupid. We were raised to avoid mistakes. So don't do mistakes. Become first perfect before you do the work. We were raised to get it right from the first time. But if you start a business and you are a business owner, you will realize that it doesn't work like that. Because entrepreneurship, being a business owner, being a coach online, it really requires from me messy repetition, messy reps, awkward attempts. Like the first 20 videos, they were super awkward. Sometimes it was so difficult for me to go back and to watch the live videos because I know that I was looking stupid. I was talking stupid stuff. But entrepreneurship requires from you that you try imperfectly instead of waiting for the moment that you are perfect in order to try it again. It requires from you that the beginning are clumsy. And if it isn't clumsy, then you waited too long to actually start. Entrepreneurship requires from you that you actually have like the learning will be uncomfortable, especially for us women of color, because my business grew because I allowed myself to be a beginner longer than most people are willing to be uncomfortable. Because confidence didn't create my success. And everyone who is waiting to get confident to start with the skill, you are wasting your time and you are waiting for the perfect moment. This success that I'm having in my business and the success that will help me to scale is repetition. Because skill didn't come from talent. Skill came from me trying over and over and over again. Even though I looked stupid, even though I forgot the words when I did my live video, even though I messed up my sales call and I knew I could have closed this person, but I didn't give up. Because I knew that even closing sales call is a skill. I tried it again. I got feedback from my coaches. I got coaching from my coaches. So if you are waiting to feel ready, you are simply delaying your success. Why are you waiting? What is inside of you that makes you feel like you have to wait? Wait for the perfect moment. I'm pretty sure you know consciously that there is no moment like perfect moments, but you are still waiting. I see so many coaches, so like therapists who want to start their business online, but they are hiding. They are trying to wait before they are ready, before they start posting their content and impacting more people. Like they can consciously say that this is what I want, but the execution part is missing. And it's because you were raised to be perfect and you are not realizing that you need to be a beginner and that you need to accept that you will always be a beginner in entrepreneurship. Because once you hit the six figure, you know how to create content, you know how to create video content. The next skill you are building is launching. The next skill you are building is ads and funnels. The next skill you are doing is webinars. There will always be a new skill you have to master. And when you tell your brain right now, I will always be a beginner, it will be easier for you to do messy reps. It will be easier for you to have new beginnings and do the learning without being so hard on you that you need to be perfect, that you need to avoid mistakes, because you know you can never avoid mistakes. That was my point 3. I have a lot to share today, but this is really fun. I hope this is helping you to see that even if English is not your first language, even if you have if you're an immigrant kid, those are not the reason why you are not successful or why you cannot be successful in the industry that you're in. So number four is I became a master at sales and learning more about sales. So when it comes to sales, how to create content that actually drives people to book a call with me, or the DM conversation to build the relationship, to guide them to book a call with me, or even the sales call and convert better. That changed my whole business. So when I say sales, I don't mean manipulation, I don't mean pressure, I don't mean having different scripts. Because I believe sales is literally a service. Because only when the transaction happened, someone is ready for the transformation. So when I think about sales, I have a different perspective when it comes to sales. So sales for me means that I am able to hold someone's belief. I am helping them to feel safe enough on a call, in the DMs, to open themselves up, to be vulnerable. Sales for me means that I am able to shift their perspective. I am helping them to make an empowered decision for their future, from their future self. It's not like, sales is also like How are you coaching them through their fear, showing them what's possible? Just imagine someone is actually getting on a call with you and you are the last person they are speaking to before they give up on their desires. And you are helping them to show them what is possible. That is sales. That's sales. That is leading a conversation. So I made the decision early on, if I want to build this business and scale it to 7 figures, I need to become a good seller. Not a sleazy one, not someone who's desperate, a leader in sales. And here is what no one tells women of color. You can have the best offer. You can have the best testimonials inside your offer. People are like referring you, people love it, people resign. You can have the best talent in coaching your clients and getting them the results. But if you cannot sell, you won't grow your business, because sales is the skill that created my income, that created my confidence in being a better coach, that created my consistency. Sales is also the reason why I have a global reach, why I create different and best client results, why I created my freedom. So sales is not about having the perfect English, it's literally about connection. Connection is universal. Connection transcends the language, right? And connection is human skill. There are so many people who are so good at English, but they are not good at sales. That's why they are losing the sales, because there is no connection point. So sales is the skill that took me from I hope someone buys to I know someone will buy because I am transferring beliefs. This is so good. So sales changed my whole business. So, and I know a lot of women of color coaches, they think sales is sleazy or manipulative. But as a business owner, it's a skill you need to master over and over and over again, because if you cannot sell and convert someone in your offer, they are literally not getting the transformation from you. And if you believe so powerfully in your offer, why wouldn't you fight for your clients to get the transformation? Why wouldn't you, is the question. And the last point, how I built my 6-figure coaching company globally, even with my language barrier, is I wasn't afraid to work. So let's talk about this, because I know this can get twisted a lot. And people see my growth and they think, okay, you must know some secret strategy. Maybe you have some advantage. Maybe you have had help. I started from scratch. And I don't have any advantages. I don't have a big network. I intentionally decided that I want to build a community globally. And the truth is why I was able to build my community globally, why I am working with clients all over the world, is because I worked. Yeah, maybe in the beginning I did hustle. Honestly, I didn't know a different way, so I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed family time. I sacrificed friends' time. But today, I am still not afraid to work, because I work intentionally. I work boldly. I work with my skills. So now I don't hustle. I am not burnt out. I am not performing, because I am simply working, meaning I am practicing the skill that is necessary right now for me to build the wealth. So when I started, I hustled, but right now my thoughts around work is different. And I am thinking, just imagine from this room, I've built my 6-figure business. When I was actually in college, in the summertime, I did a lot of work in the construction. Like I was working 3 shifts, sometimes night shift, and that work was hard. When I look at my parents, they are almost 60, working 3 shifts. working in a manufacturing company, that work is hard. When I think about nurses who are in healthcare and who are working there, that shit is hard. Me being in the comfort of my room, me recording a video, me coaching my clients, getting them the best results, me getting paid 4 figures, 5 figures for my services, and I just have to do the video, think about my sales process, get the delivery done. I cannot call this hard work. So I shifted the way I am thinking about my work, because I am not afraid to put in the reps to build the skills. I am not afraid to try again. I am not afraid to get the coaching or to get the feedback from my coaches and to refine. I am not afraid of that. I am not afraid to get better. I am not afraid to look stupid. And because I have all these thoughts, as a woman of color, it is easier for me to put in the work, because I also know for us, work ethic is like already in our DNA, right? But then you have to shift your perspective, that work on skills instead of having the stress. Work on getting reps in and become a master instead of hustling. Work in becoming the person you need to become to run a 7-figure business, the 6-figure business, not performing. This is what you need in order to change how you think about work, because the thoughts you are having about putting the work in is the reason why you are burnt out, is the reason why you have this feeling you are hustling and not seeing the efforts. So you need to build the skills that will create the money in your business, that will build the wealth for you. So if you are watching this, if you're listening to this episode, I want to tell you, like, if you have been telling yourself, my background is slowing me down, I'm an immigrant kid, I will never get the success, my English is not good enough, I don't sound like a professional, I don't have a network, it will be hard for me to actually build this business without a network. Here is what I want you to hear today. Your background is not a barrier. Your language should never be a limitation. Your accent is actually not a disadvantage. I have people telling me how much they love my accent. Your story is something not to hide. Everything you think is holding you back is actually the very thing that can make your business unstoppable. Your story can be the catapult in your business that will make you visible because of the one story you are deciding to tell. I built a 6-figure business with English as my third language in the comfort of my room. I built it with no network. I am not coming from old money, nothing. And I still build it. My first clients were strangers. Even now, those strangers are turning into long-term clients, literally like family members. I built this business with no money. The reason why I started my coaching business is because I knew I don't need the money to start this business. Yes, I hired my coach. Yes, I took a loan. I took a loan for $5,000. I paid it for my Canadian coach and I started it that way. But I don't need to put the money in to actually grow this business. I built this business with no advantage and with no skills in the beginning. But the reason why I have this business right now and why I know I will be in business for long term is because of the skills that I have built. And if I can do it, I always tell to my client this: the first $1,000, the first client is always the hardest one. If you got your first client online, if you help them to get the results and you are mastering at that, like mastering being a good coach and getting your clients the results, you can 10x that. So if I can do that, you can absolutely do it, because skill doesn't care where you are coming from. Skill doesn't ask you for permission. Skill doesn't require you being perfect. Skill only wants you to do one thing. Are you willing to look stupid and willing to learn? Because the moment you say yes, you decide, okay, yes, your entire life, your entire business begins to shift. So, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I see you in the next episode. Bye.